Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. I am back with another video and I hope that I am coming in loud and clear because your girl has upgraded to her microphone. Yes, I have heard, I have seen all of the, I can't hear you, I have to turn it all the way up. So yes, your girl has upgraded. I went ahead and ordered a microphone off of Amazon a few days ago and it came today and I was excited to go ahead and use it for the first time. So I do hope that I am coming in loud and clear. I hope loud and clear enough for you guys to go ahead and hear me say it don't cost you nothing to go ahead and press the like button. And you know what we do over here to support the channel. We go ahead and watch the ads if there are ads. Hey, Noti Gang, I know you guys are here and I will see you in the comments in a little bit. Okay. If you are new to my channel though, I would love it if you would stick around and go ahead and subscribe to it and hit the notification bell so that you can get future videos when I post. So I decided to do something a little different today. I don't necessarily want to talk about celebrities. The truth of the matter is celebrities are going to be celebrities. They're always going to do stuff, stupid shit, something to talk about. And so it won't hurt if we miss a few days of talking about them and just talk about regular shit. And so that's what I wanted to go and do. Okay, so let's get into these topics. The first person I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard about this story, but this is Dr. Carl Hart. And it's such an odd story that I had to go ahead and talk about it. And what makes it odd, so first things first, let me kind of give you an introduction to Carl Hart. Dr. Carl Hart, he is a well-renowned professor out of Columbia University. All right. He is a professor of psychology and neuroscience. So, he is a smart motherfucker, right? He's smart. But he also, get this, he is a regular heroin user. He just uses heroin regularly. Like you come home and you drink a glass of wine to unwind at the end of the day. He does that with heroin. Okay. Let's get into this article from The Guardian. It says Carl Hart is a Columbia University professor of psychology and neuroscience. He chairs the psych department and has a fondness for heroin, not only as a subject of scholarly pursuit, but also as a substance for personal use. At the age of 54, the married father of three has snorted small amounts of heroin for as many as 10 days in a row and enjoyed it mightily, even if, as he recalls in his new book, Drug Use for Grown-Ups, Chasing Liberty in the Land of Fear, he's experienced mild withdrawal symptoms 12 to 6 hours after the last dose. I do not have a drug use problem, Hart says. Never have. Each day I meet my parental, personal, and professional responsibilities. I pay my taxes, serve as a volunteer in my community on a regular basis, and contribute to the global community as an informed and engaged citizen. I am better for my drug use. Now, when have you ever heard somebody tell you that they are a better person because they do drugs? I don't think you ever have. I know I haven't. I mean, I've heard, folks that smoke weed that say that they're a little bit more clear, but I ain't never thought of anybody ever doing heroin and saying that they're better for it. But I just thought that this was interesting. This is a man who studies the psychoactive effects of drugs and he uses them regularly, right? He also argues, because he's done extensive work on this, guys, he argues that he feels that the world would be a better place if people who do drugs could basically coexist with just basically society without being criminalized for it. So he feels that there is more detriment. He a fine man. He don't look like somebody that do heroin, right? I mean, he ain't shooting it up. He's snorting it, but nonetheless, he don't look like he affected by drugs, right? He ain't got the sunken, but maybe heroin does something different too. I don't know, right? I don't want to know. But he feels like criminalizing drugs has only led to more destruction of communities, especially Black communities, right? He feels like people's personal drug use is not as big of a problem as what criminalizing it has done over the years. Criminalizing drugs has decimated Black communities. And this is a man who grew up in Miami, right, around drugs and seeing the effects of it. And he argues that if we just decriminalize drugs altogether, life would be very different. I think they're trying that in Portland, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me. They're trying to decriminalize illegal drugs. Like, it, just make it legal. Just let it, if somebody want to do coke, if somebody want to do crack, let them, right? We're not going to handle it through the law, right? And I feel like, while I think he has a point, I feel like it's too late for Black communities. The crack epidemic has decimated Black communities and has done irreversible damage for generations, right? The crack epidemic, starting in the 80s, has decimated generations after generations after generations. I think the damage is done for Black communities. So who would benefit from decriminalizing drugs, illicit drugs, illegal drugs? It would be more than likely the white community. I feel like the only reason that Portland wants to decriminalize illegal drugs is to keep white people out of jail. So who will benefit mostly from decriminalizing illegal drugs right now? It would be white folks, rich and poor alike, the ones that's, strung out on opioids, right? I think that this would be more beneficial to them, because what's been done to the Black community is irreversible. No, I don't want to see young men going to jail for, selling weed, or some crack person all addicted and strung out going to jail over some stuff. But the truth of the matter is, the damage has been done in the Black community. But what do you think about his whole idea of just basically decriminalize? What do you think would happen if we just decided all bets are off? Nobody's going to get arrested for smoking crack, for doing weed, I don't know if he's saying as far as, I think he's talking about the drug use in general, not necessarily selling it, but doing it. But I don't know. I am interested in his research, and I am reading it more thoroughly, but I'm interested in who he married to. I can't imagine that a sister is down with this, because my auntie had a husband that was strung out on crack, and she was not down with him smoking crack. So I have to wonder if this is a white woman. Now, he spends his time living between New York and Switzerland. So it's a part of me, I couldn't find a picture of his wife. A part of me think that he married to a white woman, right? Because I just don't see no sister going for this. But let me know what you guys think about that. So next up, we have Rachel Dolezal, and you guys might be familiar with Rachel Dolezal. Remember a few years ago, I guess it's been about 5 or 6 years ago, she got busted out by her parents, who basically said, she a white girl. She is a white girl. She is not Black. And it was just crazy. I mean, she's still the butt of many, many jokes. It's just been, but she said it's been like really detrimental and hard over the last several years for her to find work. She was recently on Tamron Hall's show, and she told Tamron Hall that she can't find a job. Nobody will hire her. Let me go ahead and read what she said, because I can't play the audio. Okay. So basically, Rachel said, I started with applying for all the things I was qualified for. And after interviews and getting turned down, I even applied to jobs that didn't even require degrees. She said jobs, she added, like being a maid at a hotel, working at a casino. I wasn't able to get any of those jobs either. Dolezal told Hall she wished she could be seen for who she is versus what she is. A mother, an activist, and an artist. That's really who I am, she said. When it comes to race and identity, I've always identified racially as human, but I've found more of a home in Black culture and the Black community, and that hasn't changed. Okay. And then she basically goes on to talk about the fact that she survives off of, braiding hair. Right. And I'm going to continue to read, but I wonder what you guys think about that. If you think that the world has been way too harsh. Now that you look at it, it was a joke before, but do you feel like the world has been way too harsh on her? She said, I'm still doing the work, she's talking about within the Black community. I'm still pressing forward, but it has been really tough for sure, she maintained. Not having a job for 6 years, having to create my own job and find my own ways to provide for my children through braiding hair, through grant writing to bring funds into marginalized communities and Black-owned businesses and nonprofits, through painting, through doing pep talks on Cameo.com. It's definitely been a long 6 years, said Dolezal, but I am really strongly believe that as a person, you just have to continue to be who you are, and you can't change who you are. Well, apparently you can, Rachel, because you attempted to change yourself into a whole Black woman and got busted out by your white parents. And so back then I had mixed feelings about it, right? Because I kept telling myself, well, she is, she was the president of the NAACP, so she was doing the work. Who cares what color she is? But as I've grown older, I've realized that what Rachel did was what I can't stand what I see other people doing now that I'm more aware of it. And that's cosplaying, right? She wants to put on blackness like a costume, and she did do that. She puts on blackness like a costume, and then when she gets busted out by her white parents, then she wants to be a woe is me, woe is me. When the truth of the matter is that she could have still immersed herself into the Black community and helped the Black community as an ally. But she's still very much a white woman. Look what happened this is why I don't feel too sad for Rachel Dolezal. If you guys don't know, Rachel Dolezal sued Howard University back in 2002 because, guess what? She was upset because she felt like she was being racially discriminated against as a white woman. She felt like this Black HBCU did not want to hire a white woman, right? It almost kind of like one of those reverse kind of like they won't let me into this school because it's, she was pulling the Karen card. So that's why a part of me don't feel much of anything for her, right? You wanted to feel like what it's like to be a Black person. You can't find work. I mean, welcome to the cookout you wanted to be in. But the truth of the matter is Rachel Dolezal she kind of got in early on it, right? Because right now, the truth of the matter is, I don't have an issue with Rachel, right? I think that what she did was just be who you are. Be a white ally. Please don't put on our Black costume. But as far as right now, how many people do you see pretending and putting on Black costume, right? Please don't make me go through them. I say their names all the time over here, right? Cardi B, right? The people that y'all love to bring over here is like, oh, look at her. She's one of us because she has like her Black great grandfather and got one Black parent, but y'all love to invite everybody in. So it's like, why have a problem with her now? Now she is already destroy her life because she came in too early, right? She came in a little too early before we was letting everybody in, right? So she kind of lost out because she came too early when we was still not checking for people like that. But hell, you got a whole lot of them pretending to be something that they're not, right? So what do you guys think about all of that? And last but not least, let me send my prayers to the state of Texas. I can only imagine how they must feel right now, right? Going through what they are going through down there. And, those of us who live up in the north, we always used to make fun of people down south. Like they would get like a half an inch of snow and they would shut the city down. Schools would be closed. Stay home, everybody. And we used to kind of laugh about it because like y'all can't drive on an inch of snow. I mean, half an inch of snow. Like you got to shut down the entire city. And it's because they're just not accustomed to that. And we have to accept that we just live in very different regions of the world. I mean, not the world, but the country. And that they aren't accustomed to what it's like, what we're used to. So when they do get some snow, yeah. And the fact that it wasn't just snow, guys, it was cold down there, like cold. Texas is not used to that type of cold. So when I see people like making fun and laughing at that, I've seen it. I've seen people just like, oh my God, like how can't they figure out what to do down there? It ain't even a lot of snow. That's not the point. That's not the point at all. All right. They are not used to those type of temperatures. It's one thing for it to snow, right? Because snow comes and it melts. It's been consistently cold down there. They're not being used to those type of temperatures. And then the local governments not helping out by allowing these rolling blackouts. So you are constantly having houses, they got heat, then they don't have heat. They got heat and then they don't have heat. that is causing the pipes to burst. All the food from all the, the grocery stores are just being decimated. No food. They have to boil water. But how you going to boil water or take a boiled water order if you don't have the means to watch the TV to know that you need to boil water, or if you can't charge your phone in order to know that you need to boil your water? You know what I'm saying? So it's so many things that they are dealing with down there. So I don't think that it's a laughing matter. And watching all the videos of, the ceilings just caving in and coming down and water pouring through, it is really sad to watch. It's sad to watch because homes are literally destroyed. Watching news day in and day out and watching just the tragedies that's been happening with people dying down there. Just trying to stay warm. A mother was warming up her car in the garage just to keep her and her daughter warm, and they end up dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. And I'm seeing people like, well, didn't she know better? Well, you would think, but sometimes when you're in a situation, you don't always think rational, right? So instead of judging that, just understand that she called herself trying to keep her family warm. I think a whole house burned down and people got killed in the house because they was starting a fire in the house. People sometimes we don't always think things through when we are trying, and they're not used to that type of cold. They were just trying to stay warm. There was a man who literally froze to death in his recliner, and his wife was near death. They was able to take her to the hospital, but this man literally froze to death, was frozen in his recliner. I've heard stories of little kids dying. And then this numbnut decides, Ted Cruz, who always complained about President Obama and his golfing. Oh, he just keeps golfing. He just keeps going and golfing and not tending to American people. He decides, while his state is literally in shambles, he decides to take his ass to Cancun with his family. Now you got people like Trader Truth and Mattress Mac. People are stepping up. Local people are stepping up to help. And this politician right here is he politicking, because all he doing is doing what they do, right? Acting like it don't affect me, right? And ain't nothing I can do. So let me go and get my family, because I only care about my family, and get them up out of here. So when he was photographed on the plane heading to Cancun, and it made national news, and he calls outrage, he decides to bring his ass back. But here's the thing. He blames it on his daughters. He basically says, well, I was being a good dad, and my girls, because they were going to be out of school for a week, not because it's a holiday or anything like that, because it's literally everything shut down, right? My daughters decide they want to go to Cancun. So being a good dad, the good dad that I am, I wanted to go ahead and accompany my daughters to Cancun, but I was coming right back. I was just chaperoning them, getting them down there, and then I was going to head back. But the text messages said different, because one of the neighbors of theirs spilled the tea, right? They released the text messages that the wife sent to the neighbor saying, hey, let's go to my house. It's freezing. Let's go down to Cancun for a few days. And here we're going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton. There's great security there. It's just $300 and plus a night, as if that's just nothing to them. And I'm sure it really is probably nothing to them, because they didn't flinch about the price, right? But yeah, one of the neighbors bust him out and said, while he sat there and lied and pretended that he was coming right back, right? The itinerary on the text messages told us that was a lie, that he actually wasn't coming back until Sunday. He said Saturday, but the text messages actually said we're staying until Sunday. And only when he got caught is when he decided to come back. And even somebody released it from the airlines, said that he booked a plane flight back the following day at like 6 a.m. It was like something like really, really early when he got caught. So these are the text messages. I know they're kind of small, but you can read them. It's basically, it's freezing in our house and we've decided to go down to Cancun and, just kind of go and blah, 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 blah. They left the dog in the house to freeze. It's all kinds of foolishness. So this is a typical politician. A politician, you just think to yourself, you can leave your state and leave all those people and not even attempt to I don't know, be a leader in this in right now, right? I ain't even heard nothing from Joel Osteen. Remember what happened during the hurricane? You would think that Joel Osteen, after the flack he got last time, you think he'd be the first person. And correct me, please, if he did, because I haven't heard anything about Joel. I don't know if the whole, church didn't have electricity, but I don't know. It's just interesting, watching Houston skyline, right, lit up, and the rest of the city just sitting in darkness. That's very, very interesting how they did that. Now, what's the point of lighting up the skyline if the rest of the city is in complete darkness? What's the point? And the problem is that Texas is on its own electrical grid, right? They're not federally regulated because they are literally like an island in the middle of the United States. They have their own electrical grid, which means that they cannot get any help from neighboring states. They can't help them, right? And because of that, and them trying to save money, the billionaires trying to get more money, they are rolling the electricity so it's hot and it's cold. It's hot and it's cold. They're turning it on and then they're turning it off. That's why people's water pipes are bursting. They can't handle that, right? Those pipes cannot handle that. And it's less than a natural disaster, to be honest with you. Watch this. I want to go ahead and show you this video here. I'm going to show you this video because it's really, really important that I show you this video. Go ahead and watch this.
Anyway, I live in Texas and we've been so lucky and fortunate to have electricity just about this whole entire time. However, let's check out that electricity bill. So here we're looking at Monday's usage, $990.44 for one day, which made our total almost $2,000 for an electric bill. This is our usage for Tuesday alone, $1,265.01, bringing our total of what we owe our electric company $3,194.12. This is Wednesday's usage alone, $1,005.64 just for one day, which brought our grand total so far almost $5,000.
And what I was saying is it's much less of a natural disaster as much as it's like literally these billionaires making decisions. Imagine that. Imagine either you don't have heat and electricity, or you have electricity, but you are getting like gouged right now. The people that actually have electricity are getting gouged by the megawatt. So what do you do? Right? You don't want to freeze, but then you're going to get a high ass bill. It was this woman who said that she got like a bill for like $9,000, and it's just been a few days because they went from like $50 a megawatt to literally like $9,000 a megawatt. And so how do you make a decision like that? That's sick. That is craziness to me, right? But the Texas, politicians, the leaders of Texas, they wanted the federal government to stay out of their business. And this is what they're left with, having their own electrical grids, and they can make those decisions. And the federal government can't do shit about it because they make the call on their own electricity, right? And so it's like freeze to death or pay a $17,000 bill. Right. So I pray for the people of Texas. I really pray that it warms up really, really soon. I know the damage is already done, but I know that you guys will rebuild, and I'm praying for all of you. I saw people laughing at Tammy Roman because she was crying about her house. And I'm just thinking to myself, just because she has money doesn't mean that she can't be hurt about losing her property. You don't know if she had personal belongings in there, things that may have belonged to her late mother and stuff like that. It don't matter. Stuff is destroyed. People have to rebuild. I hope, hopefully everybody has insurance, but not everybody had insurance. People have to remember that. This is a mess, but I am definitely praying for the people of Texas. And, people always like, oh, they should have been prepared. Who prepares for that? I mean, come on, it's Texas, for God's sake. Who would think that your own state would turn off your electricity on purpose on you, right? So all the preparedness in the world ain't gonna matter when you can't get gasoline because all the gas is out at the local Texaco. So anyway, just keep Texas in your prayers. And if you are living down there currently and you're listening to my video, we are keeping you guys in our prayers, and we hope that everything works out for you guys. All right. So I'm done with this video. Let me know what you guys think about these topics. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.